Last week I was on the Self-Publishing Formula podcast, and I had mentioned how I use Scrivener to improve my speed of words per hour. And one of the things that I was talking about was I use Scrivener, and there was a tool in there that you could use to basically judge how fast you were typing. And I guess I misremembered how it worked and what I was doing, but I'm going to show you what I did in order to get that going. There's really two options here that you have for the timer. The best option for me is to utilize either the iPhone or an Android device or an iPad or something like that. That essentially, you can even use a stopwatch, something that you set a countdown on. So for example, on the iPhone, you can just, click on the clock and then set a timer to 1 hour and say go, and then it'll just sit there and do its thing. And when an hour's up, it'll ding, ding, ding and let you know so you don't have to focus on it. Another option is, for example, I'm using Windows right now, is you can just bring the desktop widget of a clock over, click on the little gear, and then set it to show seconds. Now, obviously, you have to have gadgets enabled. This isn't going to talk about how to go do that, but you can find that on the web on how to get gadgets enabled, and then just choose one of the clocks, and that offers the second counter, and you can see that it's doing its thing here. And of course, if you want, you could set an alarm for that to be 1 hour away from when you're starting. So that would be another useful idea for this. But what we really need to get to is to show you exactly how you can judge how many words you're going to be doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to be in Scrivener, we're going to click on Project Targets, and what we're looking at is Session Target. Okay, so we're going to change this to 1,000, and then I'm going to drag this a little bit out of the way so it's up here in the corner, and I'm not really going to pay too much attention to it. But the idea is that whenever you're ready to start your particular time, you just go ahead and start typing. So I'll say this is me typing something in here for you to see. Okay, and so you can see that that's 11 words. Now, if we take this and we just start pasting that in, you can see that this starts going up. But more than that, you start getting a little bit of a progress meter going as well with you, like this. So if we take this all the way up to 500 words, which will be about halfway, well, it would be halfway, but I think we're going to be over it a little bit, but let's do that. Okay, close enough. All right, so we see that we moved into the yellow, and we did that pretty quick. No, I'm just kidding. So the idea is that you're able to track how many words you've actually done in a particular amount of time. So let's go ahead and take this past the 1,000 mark. Now notice it doesn't stop, it continues going. But let's say that you got right here and then your bell went off. Well, obviously you've made it, so maybe your next target is going to be 1,200 or 1,250. And so what you would just do is you would reset this and start your timer up again, and then start typing and try to get to that point. Now, you don't want to sacrifice quality, obviously. So as you're looking at what you wrote, maybe you read back over what you wrote and you say, I kept on making this same mistake, or I was repeating myself over and over. So you don't want to just get to 1,500 or 2,000 or whatever words in an hour if what you're writing isn't good. So you definitely want to take your time to make sure that you're getting a solid 1,000 words per hour, and then move to a solid 1,250 and then a solid 1,500. It's kind of like lifting weights. You start out with the lower weight and then you slowly work your way up to the larger weight. Otherwise, you're just going to injure yourself, and in this case, you would injure your writing. So that's how I did it. Again, sorry for the confusion on this, but I hope this helps.